investigating another trailer from Fable from 2024. This is when they had a release date of 2025, and I'm watching this in August 2026. So let's see what they were telling us they were going to deliver back in 2024.
Oh, right. You.
Okay.
So, you want to know all about heroes, do you? Well, you have come to the right.
All right, we've got some in-game footage here. So far looks pretty normal. Reflections are pretty meh. Pretty meh. Shadows are pretty normal, what to expect in a typical video game these days.
Place. Because who better
They don't look like ray trace shadows, that's for sure.
to tell you all about them than perhaps the greatest hero of them all? Yeah?
Good facial animations there, but 2024 still lacking over Rise, Son of Rome facial animations.
There he is, in all his finery. Cheers.
Cool. That looks sweet. That looks pretty sweet, but these towers are pretty far away. You can tell a bit of textures are getting cold there. Also, I don't think these flags are moving at all in the wind. Now, I don't know, look, maybe these flags aren't supposed to be flags that are moving in the wind. Maybe they can be constructed out of like stiff material. Like what I'm trying to say is, in real life, you don't always put a floppy flag. Like sometimes you want to have a stiff material up to portray something. And so in the game, when they're doing this, like maybe they want to do the same thing. However, we also know that some games, when you're far enough away from a floppy flag flowing in the wind, it'll cull the animation and just make it a stiff board. So there is a bit of culling going on here, both textures and animations and stuff. But overall, like the shot looks amazing. Also, this chimney here, Fable has always had like these cartoony, artistic art style with like really warped dimensions and all that kind of stuff. But nothing looks too out of the ordinary except for this chimney. It looks like, your tradie's done a bang up job. That looks sick though. Those kids running in the street. Looks mad. That's actually sick animations of those kids running. I'm just having a closer look at that. I don't think that's... I think they're using root motion for these kids running along. But I don't think they would use root motion in the final game. Root motion is like the animation moves the 3D model rather than the 3D model moving around in a T-pose or whatever, and then they put the animation on top to kind of mask, like make it look believable. But root motion always gives a way more realistic movement, but it's harder to control in a video game setting unless you're real good at being a game dev, like myself. When my game comes out, you're going to see the best animation you've ever seen in your fucking life. Anyway, these animations are really, really good. So like, in a lot of video games, you'll see characters running or walking. Their feet are moving, but the speed at which their whole body is moving along doesn't quite match, and so it looks like they're gliding. Maybe they're walking too fast for how fast they're moving. Maybe they're moving too fast for how slow the feet are moving. It's a fine balance, especially when you're speeding up, like when you transition to running or walking, and you have a running and walking animation blend. It's always just trying to get this fine balance going, except if you use root motion. If you use root motion, it looks like 100% realistic. Like, yeah.
I mean, sure.
You know what I hate about this? So I watched this trailer beforehand just to get a quick look. They almost never show the feet of the playable character. In some shots they do, but in most shots they don't. Now, this could be due to them wanting to have the camera angle looking up a little bit into the world, because if the way you normally play a third person perspective is the camera will look, the camera will look like down towards the ground above your character. That's usually the more comfortable camera perspective the player will use. And you only like look up to look at things in the sky, or look at a vast landscape or something like here. But I feel like they do that way too much, that they're all they're trying to do is like give you the impression that this is a real game, third person perspective, but they're like putting all the focus on, oh, look at the buildings, look at the landscapes, look at the awesomeness, which makes sense in a trailer, right? But it's just a little bit suspicious why they just never show the feet of the main character or the playable character.
I mean, sure, you get your mega fans,
You are like literally my favourite person.
your haters,
It's like a fan club, but we hate you.
your chancers, and your occasional.
So again, like, if you're playing this game, if this is real gameplay, and you're walking towards this big toad, this character has their sword drawn, which means like maybe they're about to engage in combat. And the fact that the camera is so close behind them means you basically have no situational awareness. You don't know what's around you. You don't know how much space you have. You don't know tons of stuff in terms of what's about to happen. You need to be zoomed out. A lot of games, third-person perspective games like Assassin's Creed or whatever, as soon as you get into combat, the camera will zoom out to give you more context of what's happening. Maybe they'll do this in this game as well, but it's just odd that they don't show it. Like, I hate when cameras are so close behind the characters that you're playing. Like, I just feel claustrophobic and I can't see shit.
Giant toad, for some reason. But it's more than that. It's about the choices you make.
I'm a hero. I should do what I want.
You thought you could save her?
You know, it's your life and death stuff. That's what defines.
Yeah, the textures look pretty average in this shot. Although it's a pretty expansive game, so you would assume they're not like the best textures on every single model.
You, and that really stays with you. I knew this one hero.
This is an amazing shot. There is a little bit of noise in the lighting here, like between the blending between shadows and lighting. So it's not like perfectly high resolution everything, but I don't see any foliage draw distance cutoff. I don't see any major optimization techniques, except for maybe a few, a bit, the lighting is maybe slightly lower resolution or something. But again, this shot is like, I can't see anything. You're just showing me up a tree and you've got this kind of weird angle that goes off into the distance here with the character walking through. So the camera is not even behind the playable character. Also, I'm not even sure, like, look at, maybe it's just a weird perspective of this camera, but like this tree over here, does that even look like it's going down in the right direction to reach the ground? I don't know.
I took her in when
Like, this looks amazing, this shot.
she had nowhere else to go. Welcome.
Yeah, let's have a look at that again.
I took her in when she had nowhere.
Yeah, so again, there's no grass draw distance cutoff. All these little white poppy flowers, is that what they're called? It's go on forever. Not forever, but, there's a little hill here. I wonder if that's masking it. But as she's walking along...
Go. I knew this one hero. I took her in.
Yeah, I mean, these trees, the leaves on these trees are normal 2D billboard leaves and branches. So, yeah, that's very normal of what to expect. But it isn't like super high tech, like modern stuff. It's just high quality old tech. That's what it is. But yeah, I assume this is running on what came out in 2024, run on a 4090 or 5090, and they're just like pumping as hard as they can. I reckon again, they're running this on a high-end PC, and they're like, they haven't properly tested it on a console, or at least they're like, well, it looks dog shit on a console, so we need more time to optimize before we can show console stuff. But the thing is, people always think, oh, when a trailer, I think I said this about one of the Halo Campaign Evolved remake or whatever, you know, their trailer 6 months out from release, I was like, man, it's looking pretty bad. A lot of noise, a lot of problems with the graphics and stuff. And someone was like, oh, you know, you're watching an unoptimized build. And it's like, for real optimization, you start that at the very beginning of game development. Like, you need to know, the 3D modelers need to know what kind of resolution textures are you using, how many polygons are going to be in every single model, what kind of lighting are you going to use. The programmers need to know how efficient do they need to program stuff. Like, do they need to get every little CPU cycle pumping and using it as efficient as possible? How many times do we have like, how action packed is this game? Like, do we have a second where we can like take additional time to process and load extra things in, or does everything need to be streamlined? Like, every single optimization technique needs to be thought of from the very beginning of development. And sure, you can put in like upscaling stuff at the end, like, but that only gets you so far, and that often only upscaling usually only targets GPU efficiencies. It doesn't do anything for the CPU. And so if you're CPU bound, you're going to have a hard time if you try and optimize it in the last couple of months. But yeah.
When she had nowhere else to go. Welcome. One here.
Yeah, also like level of detail.
I took.
So like you can do level of detail cutoff. And so you might have a high resolution model, but then when it gets a little bit further away, it'll cull that into about half the polygons and half the textures. And then when it gets real far away, it'll cull it again down to like 10%, all that kind of stuff. I'm not really seeing any of that here. Not seeing any performance or optimization techniques going on here. So I'm just thinking they're running it on like the best PC they got. And just showing you like, wow, look how amazing this shit is. But really, how many people have a 5090 or 4090? Like, not that many in the grand scheme of things. And this is like Xbox developer, right? Xbox, what do you call it? Publisher. So like they're targeting consoles.
Her in when she had nowhere else to go. Welcome to the most exclusive club in all of our.
His animations look really good, I must say.
Thought I'd get her out there, make the most of her gift. But
yeah, his animations look really, really good. I assume they're motion captured. But her animations don't look as good. Not sure why, but if you look at the way
get her out there, make the
he puts this sword down and then she grabs the top of it. Look at his hand, how it's grasping it and how it's like moving and animating still, and her hand kind of just like grasps the top and does not move at all, has no more animation in it. Also, the way she's grasping it, it's like you can tell her fingers aren't firmly gripped around it. So it's kind of like, it's not a perfect animation. It's okay, it does the job, you know, it tells you what you need to know, but his animations seem way better than her animations.
most of her gift. But you know what it's like when you're young and you have a point to prove. I tell you, this kid, she had it all. The skill, the talent.
Again, where are the feet?
Kid, she had it all. The skill.
Okay, there's feet here. Did they show you before that?
I tell you, this kid, she had it all. The skill.
They don't really show you before that action shot what the feet are doing, and then they zoom in away. Yeah, you don't see her feet. Like, you would think this is in the middle of combat, that camera would zoom out and give you a bit more context, but no. Now, maybe this is just a finishing move. It's hard to tell exactly.
Talent.
Bro. I did not see this before when I watched this trailer. But look how she handles his sword, man, with no fucking gloves. Like, you cannot hold a sharp blade like this with bare hands and then swing it with all your might to hit someone. Like, that sword is just going to use centrifugal force and fly out through your hands and just slice your hands to pieces. Now, I know it's just a video game, but like, video games don't need to be realistic, but they do need to be believable. And that shit ain't believable, man.
The power.
All these shots are like, wow, look, this character doing cool stuff, but none of it looks like the player is controlling this at all. So like, this is where I think it's a bit suspicious. Plus, look at all the foliage, the terrain, and everything. Nothing looks like it's cold. It looks like there's grass all the way up to that hill up there. I mean, it looks amazing. These shots look incredible, but they're not using any optimization techniques, or barely at least. And none of it looks like actual gameplay. So I'm a bit suspicious, boys.
She was something else, all right. The talent.
Also, I want to point out the voiceover or this guy telling the story in this trailer. He's like,
This kid, she had it all. The skill, the talent, the power.
He's like, look at this girl or this character. She's got the skill, the talent, the power, all this stuff. While the shots of this game are showing like her doing all this cool stuff. But as the trailer goes on, you realize he's not even talking about her.
She was something else, all right. She was terrifying. So, yeah, I knew this girl once who made all the wrong choices.
Humphrey.
So you think he's talking about her. And then she comes up and like, Humphrey, I've heard all everything what you're saying, and you've just said like, I've met this girl that made all the wrong choices.
She's back.
And then she says she's back, and you think, is she talking about herself? Like, I'm back, and I can hear what you're saying, and I've been hearing what you're saying this whole time, talking shit about me. But no, it's actually a different character altogether.
I'm going to fix it, this place. And no one is going to stand in my way.
Yeah, so there's like the villain or something. So like this whole trailer, you think the guy is talking about this girl, playable character, and then in the end you realize, oh no, he's talking about someone else altogether. So it's a bit of an odd way to tell that story. I probably wouldn't do it that way, because I wonder how many people watched this trailer and then got to like the Fable scene, like Fable text, and go, oh, that's the end of the trailer, and clicked off. And they didn't even realize, oh no, he wasn't even talking about her. So like, it's a little bit, I don't want to say misleading. They obviously are doing this story on purpose to give you a bit of a twist at the end. You're allowed to do twists in the story. But it's just a bit, I don't know. Feels a bit off. 2025. Coming 2025. Yeah. So coming to Steam, so it's going to be on PC. And so I think they have no obligation to show it running on consoles. But yeah, I think like I love these shots. They look so cool. But there's just a few discrepancies in terms of like animations. Like those, I think they're root motion animations. They look so good on those kids running. But then I really doubt they're using root motion for anything other than maybe cutscene animations where like this dude is talking and walking around. Like these.
Welcome to the most exclusive club in all of Albion.
Yeah, that stuff. So basically, again, like similar to last trailer, I think very cool shots. There's some really good stuff I'm liking, like really good stuff. I'm attracted to these sceneries and landscapes and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty hype in that respect. Not insanely hype. Like I don't feel like, wow. I'm just like, wow, this looks pretty cool. I want to see more. But then when I look into it, there's like it looks so good, but there's not enough optimization techniques to show me that it's actually going to run on consoles. And so that's why I'm like, this is suspicious. And in terms of animations, like, it shows me animations that are probably not going to be used in the final game. Like, I think the cutscene animations will be, like, in terms of that dude Humphrey. But those kids running through the town, that looks too good of an animation. Like it seems weird, but like I see so many trailers where the animations are on point, everything's on point, and then you get the game and it's like, what the hell? Like, it just doesn't measure up. It's not the same. That's kind of like the reason I'm doing this YouTube channel as well. Like, so many trailers, they're all bespokely framed. They're all like showing the exact shot. They're hiding all the bad shit and they're just showing you the good stuff. And then when you get the game, obviously you see everything, and it's like, yeah, it's just like it's shit. So again, this trailer's suspicious from 2024. Excuse me, from 2024. They were expecting to release in 2025, but then it got delayed to 2026, and now it's delayed to 2027. I want to talk a little bit more about those delays in the next couple of videos and what could be the reasoning behind that. But yeah, if you liking my videos and stuff, like and subscribe, all that good shit. And yeah, still a few more Fable videos to come. So I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.